before I left San Leandro, I put some cedar paneling on this bulkhead here. So it's the wood. You can see the wood grain, the wood here around one of my paintings here. I put this paneling on this bulkhead, and it goes around this door. And I didn't get it finished, so I got this area over here, that white area there, that I'm going to go ahead and finish that out today. And so because boat decks are not flat, they're cambered. As you can see, it's an arch. What I'm going to do is I need to cut the paneling to fit in that area where the white part of the bulkhead is showing. And because of the camber, it's not going to be a straight cut. It's going to be a curve to it. So I got a little trick here I'm going to try, and I've done it with other things and see if it'll work with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some heavy-duty aluminum foil and just squish it up against the wall there where the white area is. And I'm going to use that as a template because I also need to go around this railing here too to get it to fit. So, and then back in the corner on the top, it kind of comes down a little bit. So it's not, again, nothing's a straight line. And like I always say, nothing's easy on a boat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start squishing some aluminum foil up there and see if I can make a template so I'll have a pattern to cut the paneling with to make this all fit in there good. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so here's the paneling here. This is cedar, and it's a closet liner kit. So it's kind of like tongue and groove. It's got a groove on this side, and it's got a tongue on this side. They kind of fit together. And so it has a smooth side and a rough side, and I have the rough side out on this. So I got this heavy duty aluminum foil. And this is a little trick that I come up with in Santa Cruz when I installed a Lehman 4-cylinder 60 horsepower diesel engine in my other sailboat that I bought in Santa Cruz in 1993. And the engine was used and it was just sitting on wooden blocks. And somebody removed the alternator and the alternator mount on that engine. So it didn't have a mount. All it had was 4 bolt holes. And so I had to make a mount for the alternator. It had to be really strong. And I had the engine in place, and I had to crawl down in this little cubby hole that my knees were up against my chest. I was just crammed in there. And I couldn't, it was impossible to make measurements. And the bolt holes were not like, there's 4 bolt holes, and they were not straight up and down. One wasn't above the other one or below the other one. They were staggered. So there's 1 bolt hole here, and then at an angle there's another bolt hole, then another bolt hole here, and another one over here. So they were angled. They weren't straight up and down. So it wasn't a kind of a square thing with the bolt holes. They were staggered. And so I needed to come up with a way to build this mount, and it was going to be very difficult to get it, the measurements and everything. So what I did was I took aluminum foil, heavy duty aluminum foil, and I wadded it all up and used it like modeling clay. And I made a mock-up of the actual mount, alternator mount, with aluminum foil. And I even had put holes in the aluminum foil for the bolts, and I bolted the aluminum foil onto the engine, and I shaped it to the shape that I thought the mount needed to be. And it was real critical that the alternator was in just the right position and at the right perfect lined up angle with the pulleys on the engine because if it didn't line up, it'd wear the belt out. So I went ahead and I made this mock-up of aluminum foil. And so it was basically the alternator mount made out of aluminum foil. And I crawled in there with the alternator and held it up, and I eyeballed it. Everything to see if I can get everything to line up. Then I took the aluminum foil off the engine, took it back to the research farm where I worked, and welded up a steel alternator mount. And it turned out perfect. I couldn't believe it. Everything lined up. The bolt holes lined up. The alternator lined up with the pulley. Everything was exactly where it needed to be. So I really lucked out on that. It worked out really good. So I have learned that when I need to make a template, a lot of times I'll use aluminum foil. And so it works out pretty good. So let's see what happens here if I can make this work. Okay, so it's roughly the width of the board that I'm going to put up here. Pretty close enough. And now I'm just going to squish it in place, and hopefully I can get the shape that I need. Okay, so there it is. It's pretty close. I do have a problem here with this corner piece here, so I'm going to take this out and see if I can get this to squish over the way I want it to. Okay, so there's the template. And so what I need to do now is I'm just going to put this on here and trace it out, and then cut it with the jigsaw and see if it fits. This is one of my oil paintings that I did of the Mokelumne River. I do oil paintings. I was a whitewater river guide in Oregon and did a lot of river trips in California, just private trips. And so I would take photographs and then do a painting of the photographs that I took. So this originally was a slide that I took of my friend Dave running this rapid on the Mokelumne River at a place called China City, I believe. The Chinese mined this area here for gold in the gold rush of 1849. And so, at any rate, I do oil paintings, but that's not the point of this video. The point of the video is the wood that's around the painting here. Okay, so I kind of cut inside the line here. I couldn't see the line real good here. I might have screwed up, but I kind of cut inside the line because I could use my Dremel tool now to shape this a little better. But this looks pretty good. I don't know. I may have to use the Dremel tool to... This line does not look perfectly straight, but let's see what happens when I put it up here. So, see how close I was. Okay, so what I need to do is this camber's not perfect. It's a little high on this end, but this bottom part lines up really pretty good. It just needs to be dremeled out on this side more, so it slides over this way more. And then I just need to Dremel this top down so it'll fit up in there. But the bottom and this all from here to here is perfect. So basically I just need to Dremel off the top and then around here. So same thing, use the vacuum cleaner here to catch the dust. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, I still got to do a little more off the top and a little bit more in the notch there. Okay, so what I need to do is it's kind of, the bottom's not how it needs to be. And it's kind of tilted like this a little bit. So I need to take some off of this side here and get it to go more this way. This needs to be notched out more. And the top, maybe just a little tiny bit here, but I don't want to take too much off. Okay, if I hadn't screwed the top up on the left, on the top of the board left, you can see the gap up there. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have had it. But so yeah, I'm gonna have to redo it. But it kind of fixed this other plank. It's better now. It's up a little tighter on the plank next to it, on the right top corner. It's a little tighter there. I can probably get it to go a little more and fix it completely. So basically now I just got to use that as, this one as a template. Add a little bit to the top on the left, and I think it looks like I need a little bit on the bottom too, to be a little, so that whole left side needs to be a little taller, a little bit longer, and it should fit in perfect. So I have to do it one more time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw this out and go ahead and just make another one. Now, when I draw my line here, I'm going to have to draw it a little bit higher here to fix that gap. This side's good, but this side isn't. As far as the bottom goes, there's a little lip here on this bottom of this board here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of a lip. And so it's not even. It's weird. I guess it's, I never really noticed it before, but I guess they were all like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to this inner one for the template, and I'm going to leave this outer one so I can come back with a Dremel and just take this down a little at a time to make it fit in there, I think. So what I'm going to do. And, but this inner one here should be the right height. So eventually I'll have to take all this down until it's even with this one. But I think I'm going to leave that for now. And I'm just going to measure from this inner one. And I just got to make sure I get this perfect this time. This should go a little easier, I'm thinking. I'm going to take this pencil and kind of go at an angle with it to compensate. Up here it's going to be straight and down, and then as I draw, I'm going to tilt the pencil more so the line will be longer on this side. It'll be, the board will be taller on this side. So let's see what I can do here. Now it's a little overkill. It's a little more than I need, but that way I can take a little off with the Dremel. Okay, so it's going to make it a little bigger. Then I'll get it to fit perfect, hopefully. So I just got to jigsaw it again. Okay, so I cut on the line, so it looks good here. Cut on the line here. I cut on the line here. I got this little bit of a lip here. I don't know if you can see that. But this whole lip needs to come off. So I'll do that real carefully as I shape it. So basically on the Dremel tool, it looks like all I got to do is this one little spot here, and then I can, I'll go ahead and start taking some of this off, and then I'll put it up there and see what I get. Okay, let's see how close I am. Okay, so that's better than it was. The bottom, I should have left a little bit of that lip, but I think it's okay. I think I can live with that. The top's definitely better. I could do a little bit of shaping there, maybe a little bit. The next board over, if I just get it to come across, push into it a little bit, I can take care of that gap on the little smaller board next to it at the top right. Yeah, boy, it's so close, I don't want to really touch it. But I think I pretty much got it. So, at any rate, so that's how I use aluminum foil to make a template. It didn't work out too good, but it did kind of give me an idea what I needed to do and a little bit of a template, but not real accurate. So I had to, I screwed up the first piece, but I used the screwed up piece as a template and was able to fix the other problems with it. And so all I got to do now is just do the rest of the planking. There's like 4 or 5 more pieces, but they'll be a lot easier because it doesn't have that railing. I won't have to deal with the railing, so it should go real easy. And but at any rate, if you found this video to be helpful or entertaining, please like and subscribe.